odd students that are invited. So yeah, everybody that couldn't join us, I just started the recording, so I'll send this out to everybody. Welcome to the session. To everybody that's not here, we're going to watch a video, a motivational video, because a lot of the founders that I'm working with sort of hit a roadblock or a little bit of a plateau. I thought it might be a good idea just to motivate everybody with a solid session of motivation. So without further ado, I'm going to get the video on. Vusi Thembekwayo speaking about how sometimes we stand in our own way, and you know, the reasons that we might conjure up why we can't do something is valid, and why we shouldn't let that stand in our way. I'm gonna play that video, and then we'll have a discussion afterwards. Here we go.
I live by two core principles. The first is that everything everyone knows, they learned. And I don't accept that I'm less intelligent than the next person, which means I can learn it too. The second is that every single excuse I have is valid, but that's still not going to give me the result I want. The test is not whether or not you know the reasons for not succeeding. The test is whether or not you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next level. And a big part of the whatever it takes actually is just remain teachable. Just be a student of the game, a student of life, a student of those who've achieved. Your reality is your reality. So you're not imagining it. You're not imagining that you're poor. You're not imagining that you're left out because you live in a third world country. You're not imagining that you're not getting the right quality of education to make you globally competitive. You're not imagining that. That shit's real, right? Okay, but now that you've got it, you can live in the emotion, and sometimes I do. I get really, really mad and really, really upset. But then the following morning comes and you realize that you've moved not an inch of distance, yet you've expanded all of this time and this emotion. I mean, right now, if you think about the world we live in, just think about how much hatred there is. Think about how much anger there is, and yet we're not moving. So what really pulls me out of it, and it's an honest conversation with me, is I go, do you want the emotion or do you want progress? Because you can't have both. I'll give you an example. You're at the gym, you're curling, you're rep 8, and your body starts to fire off those signals in your brain and it goes, stop, it hurts. If you stop, you get the emotion, you don't get the progress. So if you talk to any decent athlete, they'll tell you that where the pain starts is when the work starts. So you either get the emotion or you get the progress, but you can't have both. We're living in this world today where everybody is just so deeply embedded in the emotion. I want to be angry at Tom because he's X, Y, and Z, and I want to be angry at Vusi because, yeah, yet you make no progress. So yours and my challenge, I think, as a generation is how do we give the world progress? So sometimes we've lost a sense of perspective. It's not easy, but damn, it's much easier than it's ever been. And you have a responsibility to own your progress. The hardest thing to do is to enable people to see themselves as they are. When somebody asks the question, who are you? How do you answer that question? Are you the job you have? Are you the place you come from? Are you the lineage of your ancestors? Are you the qualifications? Are you your geography? Who are you? We've put these people in positions of power and leadership whose mindset was not disentangled from the way things used to be. So they bring an oppressed mind into a freedom construct. Then they act like oppressed people, and we wonder why the results are the way they are. I think the language is important here. I'm not saying Black people don't deserve freedom. I think that's an important point to make. First of all, freedom isn't something you deserve. It's a God-given right. It's like breathing. So you shouldn't have to justify why you deserve to be free. And often people that approach that conversation heard me to say, Black people don't deserve freedom. And I'm going, no. The idea that you deserve it means there's something you have to do to earn it, which by itself is fallacious. There is nothing you have to do to earn the right. That said, if you accept, and we all do, that there have been hundreds of years of structural exclusion and oppression, not only of the black body, but of the black mind. We weren't ready for freedom. What I mean is, we got it, but we haven't freed our minds. What we're doing is we're defaulting to the reasons and excuses we had pre-freedom for why we're not doing the shit we should be doing in freedom now. The point of departure is when you're free, you don't find the need to explain your freedom, you just are. And it was a reflection, it was okay, so we got it. But were we ready for it? Are we using it to the best of its ability, this incredible freedom we enjoy? Are we really being transformative? Are we being imaginative? Are we doing new, great, and powerful things? Are we being a generation? My dad used to say to me, you will always be the worst at something the first time you do it. First time you do anything is the worst time because you don't have the skill set. But as you do it, what happens is you mature, you get better, and you learn, right? So that's what I mean by that, is the reason it's important to start is because all of those stories, that self-narrative that you've been saying and toiling in your head, the excuses are valid, the world isn't fair, and guess what? At the beginning, it is going to be tough. But the only way out of it is to start. There is no other way out of it. You can't negotiate with it. I have to tell you, that changed my entire life. So anytime I find myself stuck now, I recognize that often the reason I'm stuck is because I'm focusing on the output and I'm not focusing on my input. So we always think about leadership. We think about the general in the army, the guy who marshals the troops. He's like, I'm the general and I'm the boss. That's what people think about. But I'm more interested in what was that guy thinking the morning he woke up, knowing he's about to send 100,000 young men and women into the field of battle and they might not go home to their families. I'm more interested in that conversation. I'm not interested in how does he show up. I'm interested in what is he telling himself. Because how does he show up is, again, outcome. It's output. We're seeing him standing on the stage, right? But what led to that? How does he have so much self-belief? And how does he have so much courage? Even in the face of adversity, how is this guy still believing we can win the war? How do you show up to your family? How do you show up to your friends? How do you show up to yourself in the mirror? Because, you know, that moment will come too, right? Where you do something that you know is wrong, or you fail, or you're not proud of yourself. When you look at you in the mirror, what do you say? So what we do is we actually do an exercise called So What? What would your life look like if you lost the business? You go, well, you know, it would look like X, Y, and Z. And I go, and if that's where you were, so what? And what happens is 7 or 8 so what's later, people get to what is their actual fear. So what? So I'd be poor again, and I don't want that. I remember that. I remember going to bed hungry. I don't want to be poor again. Oh, okay. So actually the reason you work like a dog and you don't see your kids and you've completely no balance and you're completely overweight is because you're scared of poverty. Just face it. Now you can look it in the face and say, poverty, I'm scared. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that you haven't conquered that fear. Just be aware of it. I think it's an incredible gift to have somebody that believes in you, especially when you don't believe in yourself. There are some people who have the ability to bend the laws of physics. Nelson Mandela had this most incredible ability. If he walked into the room, the temperature changed by 3 degrees Celsius. I said to him, what's your dream for like mankind? What's your dream for humanity? And he said, faith is the ability to see the invisible, believe in the impossible, and trust in the unknown. And it's only as I've grown older that I realize what he was actually saying. And I think a lot of us are living in a world today where unless we can see it, touch it, or feel it, we don't believe it to be. And we forget that everything you can see, touch, taste was imagined by someone, created by someone who had to have faith that it would find resonance with mankind. I think we have a duty today to understand the power of what that means. So I think it's, you know, it's part of the course of the universe. But one of the things you learn as you study their history is that they were human. They had hopes and dreams just like you and I. They had doubts too. And the minute you figure that out, you then understand that actually nothing separates them from you, but for the fact that you're waiting for someone like them to show up. So if we're all waiting for the Messiah, who is it? Because we can't all wait. Somebody has to step up. So we talk about Nelson Mandela, but the truth is, Nelson Mandela led a collective of people who fought for the liberation of my country. But actually, there were millions like him who made others even an ultimate sacrifice with their lives. This was actually a collective effort, which means you and me have a duty to become a part of the collective effort of whatever freedom that we're seeking. So if you're waiting for someone to save you, you're it. You are the savior. As you go, you will figure it out. And you've got to trust the universe. It'll meet you halfway. It'll teach you what you need to learn. It'll bring into your world an intersection of people, knowledge, spaces where you can grow your own competence and ability. You don't have to be ready for where you're going. You just have to be ready for what's next. And that's what I mean by there's no Messiah. We all kind of go, well, we need the perfect person so we can create the perfect future. But what you're learning is there is no perfect person for the perfect future. There's the person who's just working on next step. And that's all it is. Just so I actually don't need the perfect person to come and save me. I can do it myself.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, he's obviously a massive inspiration, Vusi. And I listen to a lot of the things that he says because he's got a way to take different concepts and almost emotions and business sort of principles and put it in sort of a layman's terms and bring it down to a level at least that I understand. And that inspires me a lot. I think to bring what he's what he just said and what he was talking about now into the sphere of startup and starting a new business and all of that. It's almost a conundrum starting a startup. It is not a clear path necessarily. There are controllables that you can control. There are things that you can anticipate with experience and that you can see coming. But like you said, startup is you need to put one foot in front of the other continuously and continuously try to be better than you were the previous day or make a incremental improvement continuously. And to be honest, it is, he makes it sound very simple. And when you boil it down to its fundamentals, it really is that simple. The people that have made their mark on history and have had a great impact on humankind were people that had a vision and a belief in that vision, and they simply did what needed to be done, and took the next step and opened the next gate and overcame the next hurdle. Because that is a very fundamental part of doing anything that's worth your while. And if you think that startup is, almost like a magic potion that you need to sort of get just right, or you need the perfect recipe to bake the perfect cake, then that is not the case. There are certain principles that are important that that you do sort of try to follow, the things that you look out for, but you don't need the perfect recipe. And in fact, if you find the perfect recipe, then most likely the outcome will be something that is not as impactful as it could be. It's a very important part of doing a startup is overcoming that sort of, I don't want to say fear, but that sort of self-doubt of, well, I'm doing something brand new and it doesn't look like it's resonating with people around me or with the public at large. So is it really that impactful? To overcome that is very important. But the one sort of tried and tested way to overcome that is to link your startup with that vision that you have and that set of talents that you have as a person. If you can do that, it really does help to keep you on track, and keep your mind focused. So just with that, I'm just going to play a second video. It's just a 5-minute video. It's Simon Sinek. It's also someone that I admire quite a lot, and he talks about passion. And maybe sometimes passion is something different, than what we thought passion might be. So I'm going to play that video. It's another 5 minutes, and then I'll just quickly discuss that as well.
Passion is not an input. Passion is an output. Passion, we're all passionate. We're just not all passionate for the same things. And we will feel what we call passion when we are involved in something that is deeply personal to us, that is helping us advance some higher purpose or cause. Then when we go to work, what we experience is passion. But if you make us do something that we feel no personal connection to, that is not us helping advance any kind of bigger ideal, then what we feel is stress. Now, passionate people work many hours, they don't come home, they miss their families, they take business trips, they don't sleep, and yet it feels worth it. People who are stressed go on business trips, they miss their families, they work long hours, they don't sleep, but it doesn't feel worth it. Passion is an output, not an input. Like stress is an output, not an input. So you can't do what you're passionate about. You find something you believe in, and what you will experience is passion. So then it begs the question, how do I find what I believe in, right? I think society, especially our society, and especially pressure on us to have a vision. What's your vision? Or find your bliss, or all of these, they're all the same thing, right? And the problem is we're not all visionaries. It's unfair. It's an unfair standard. That's like telling everybody to be creative, but we're not all creative. Or everybody be good at math, but we're not all good at math. We're not all visionaries. Only a small percentage of our population are actually visionary. You don't have to have a vision. You have to find a vision, right? If you hear Martin Luther King say, I have a dream that one day little black children will hold hands on the playground with little white children, you go, that's what I want. You choose to follow Dr. King. When you hear the words of visionaries, and if they appeal to you on some visceral level, they give you goosebumps, they make you excited, they make you want to sacrifice, be a part of it, stand in line to hear them, pay money, whatever it is, follow that, make that your vision. Take it and say, that's my vision too. You can adopt someone else's vision and make it your own. That's what we call a following, is we have taken the visionary's vision and we've chosen to follow that vision ourselves. We are followers. That's a good thing. There's no difference between the visionary and the follower. We both see ourselves in service to something bigger than ourselves. Whether you are the originator of that idea or not is irrelevant. What it does is fuel passion. What it does is fuel conviction. So we don't have to have a vision, but we do have to find one. And so read books, watch TED Talks, read articles, be in life. Watch videos, go out, seek, find, listen to leaders. Corporate, political, whoever, and when something resonates with you, even if you don't know why, that then you can adopt, and you can take it upon yourself to use your own talents, your own gifts, to help advance whatever that cause is, right? So I have a cause. I have a crystal clear vision of the world I want to live in. I imagine a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired, feel safe at work, and return home fulfilled at the end of the day. The gift that I have committed to help advance that cause is the ability to put some of these ideas into words that other people can relate to. When you do a jigsaw puzzle, the first thing you do is lean the box against the wall, right? We all have a piece of the puzzle to help build this vision. My piece of the puzzle is I'm the guy that points at the box. But I'm not the guy who builds the business. Because there are other people who are better at that, the entrepreneurs and the business leaders. I want them to embrace the same picture on the box. The people who work for companies who say, I want to work for a company that does that. That's their piece. The one who's a gifted natural leader who cares. We all have at least one friend who, for whatever reason, love us and care us even when we're horrible people. That for some reason they still believe in us and they see the good in us. That's their piece of the puzzle. And so we have to commit our gifts. The reason they call them gifts is because they're forgiving. That's what gifts are. They're for giving away. If you have a gift, it's not something you take, it's something you give. So I think we have to find a vision and commit our gifts to help advance that vision. And the great leaders, the ones that can put that vision into words so clear that we can then recite that vision as if it were our own.
Okay, so that's the second part of the puzzle now. You sometimes, when I speak to founders, I speak to founders a lot. They sort of lose steam, and sometimes it's connected to that vision. And what Simon talks about here is, if you can connect your time spent to a vision that makes you passionate to pursue it, then it's sort of your battery is just continuously being charged, and you can keep on going and keep on going. And sometimes you just need to frame what you're really busy with in a different light. A lot of the founders that I work with, they would start out with an idea, and it's almost like what Vusi said, the so what sort of question. Is what I ask founders is, but why are you doing it? What is the bigger vision here? And then we sort of ask that, but why, until you get to a point where you say, well, my bigger vision is actually to change this industry, or to change the lives of this specific set of people, or to change, the way things are done in this specific sector. That is my vision, and that's something that comes from within, and it's just like your battery is being charged continuously. So, to recap on this, number one, you have to believe in yourself, and you don't have to believe blindly. You can acknowledge the fact that there are obstacles, that there are things that are against you, that maybe the life or the cards that you're dealt in life is against you. Acknowledge that, but still say, well, okay, so I acknowledge it, but acknowledging it will only get me so far. Now I have to say, well, even though I would dealt these cards, I'm going to still pursue my vision and pursue that. So that's number one. You need to have that vision. You need to acknowledge, the things you're up against, but say, in spite of them, I'm still going to pursue my vision. And then you need to be like Vusi said, your own savior. You are that person. You are the Mr. Mandelas of the world. You are that person for your vision, and for your startup, and for your idea, and framing it correctly, and putting it in, getting yourself in the correct frame of mind, really helps you to keep going. And then, like Simon said, the third thing is you need to connect with that specific vision, and find something that will keep you going, and that resonates with you. And it doesn't have to be a niche, brand new vision. You can plug your startup idea into a vision that maybe someone else had, maybe someone that you look up to. I get the most wonderful answers, in the program, where I ask, who's your entrepreneurial role model? And there's such a wide variety of people that you guys look up to. So find that person that you can plug your startup into, and sort of adopt their vision and draw energy from that, and really take your idea to the next level. And if you are sitting there and your startup is something that's not exciting you at this stage, ask yourself this question: am I framing it correctly? Am I really answering the why I am doing this? And if you're not framing it correctly, and you're not answering that why at this stage, keep asking that question, or talk to me, so we can get to the bottom of why you're pursuing what you're pursuing. And if you go through that exercise and you get to a point where you maybe say, well, maybe I should pivot, because maybe my passion and my vision is leading me somewhere else. Then there's no reason why you can't pivot. But it's very important in order to keep going, to have that broad vision and to really plug into that battery to keep you going, and acknowledge that you're up against things, and things are, in life are not always perfect, but still decide to move and move forward, even though life isn't always perfect. Okay, so I thought I'd just get this sort of motivation out there. I know some of you might be on holiday at this stage. Some of you are working through the holidays. Some of the kids are running around at home, that are on holiday. And yeah, to just keep going, and find that battery that you can plug into. Keep moving one step at a time. And it really does, I promise you, I speak from experience, it really does create a compounding effect if you just keep moving forward, okay, and put one step in front of the other. Okay. Pleasure, Morocco.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was really good.
I'm glad it helped. Yeah, no.
I needed that.
No, I think at this time of year, a lot of people need it, but I'm glad it resonated. So yeah, just keep going, everybody. Just keep going and keep on pursuing, and you'll get there. And know that you have it in you to do it. You do have it in you. There's no secret sauce that other people have that you don't have. There's nothing like that. You are that person that can make it work. You just need to pursue it and keep on working. And it is a very high certainty that you'll get to where you want to go if you can just keep on moving. Okay. We are out of time now, sir. Moloko.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Like I came to this meeting with so many excuses as to why I'm not having progress, but I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to put my foot forward from today.
Awesome.
No, I needed it. I was very, yeah, no progress at all.
No, it's good, Moloko. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's part of the start of the journey. We all get to a place where we paint yourself into a corner with either excuses or just the workload or whatever. But I mean, you can just wait for the paint to dry and then get going again.
Yeah. Honestly, I think more than anything else, I needed it because I felt like I was hitting a brick wall and nothing was happening. And that sort of demotivates you to, work more into what you want to plow into your dreams. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, brilliant. I'm glad I could help. And drive safely.
And can I please have your number, because I changed my phone and I don't have numbers, and I've been meaning to send you an SMS because I needed to give you those color schemes and whatnot. So
I'll send you a message.
I still use the same number, but just thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, brilliant. I'm gonna log off here. All the best. Yeah, keep pushing. If you're still busy with the program, we're doing grading today. So from Monday onwards, we're going to do some grading. You guys can get on there. Even if you feel like you're way behind, get on there and do it, and let's build these startups. Okay. So everyone.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Nasha.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.